So, Danny getting close to being in the transfer window, and it's getting really interesting. Danny transfer window wouldn't be a myth to say that we need some players in, but it's more about the players out. So you're thinking some of the youth team players and stuff like that more than likely. And he said he's open to conversation ahead of potential exit at Sheffield Wednesday. Now, there's some that you might think that need to go out on loan. So you're thinking Pierce Charles, you're thinking Sean Fusey, you're thinking Gabriel Odatumbai, and see if that happens. But discussion will be had with regard to some more of the senior players as well. So you're thinking your Whitways, that kind of players who maybe we move on and say, hey, it's time for you to go because we want to move you on and we want to get some money for you. We want to make sure that we can have you ready to be in our next so we can have room to bring in someone else. That's interesting. That is interesting because we always think of exits for us as just youth team players. We don't see many of the senior players being one that he might say, hey, we want to let you go. Before we go into like, share and subscribe to the channel, much appreciated. Liking helps the algorithm, sharing gets in front of people facing it, and subscribing lets me know you like the channel. Hit that notification bell to let you know when videos go live. So, Danny went on to said, so part of the process, you will have some players who don't play in the next week too much or haven't played in the past too much. They want to play more. I think it was last season as well. I tried to give them an honest picture where they were at the moment, and we're still together and having a feeling that they want to change something. And we think it's right, and let's see what the possibility is. Sometimes players are too emotional, might think their career is done here after getting into match day squads and not thinking they've not done it's not right. Obviously, we'll look and we'll beat with that. We'll try and do our best for the team. Now, it's interesting. Makes you wonder who said that or what's been said there, because that sounds like that's an example to me. That sounds like that's an example of a player that come to him going, well, my career's done here because I'm not playing week in, week out, so what's the point of me being here? That does sound like that's a conversation someone's had with Danny, and Danny's gone, look, that's not how it works. So we're trying to figure out how everyone fits in. He also said, I'm also understand the human side. There are some players who might maybe at a point in their careers where they have 2 or 3 years and want to play and be more secure for the future for good things, that I'll try to be honest and open with the conversations. Now, we've had injuries, we've had suspensions. We have a very small squad. So if we do have, say, in a Whitway, say, I'm going to say someone like a Callum Patterson, maybe he wants to go because he wants to just play 13 football. He knows he's not getting that, wanting to go in January. We're going to have to replace those 2 players. Now, for me, if you're replacing 2 players who are here on permanence, you replace with like to like. You don't have them coming as loan players. You try and get someone in that's a permanent, a bit younger, and one that you trust, and you go from there. But the caveat is, if you are going to do that, you need to make sure it's right for the club. You need to make sure it's right for everyone and on each party. And that could be a sticking point. You could have people who are like, well, I want to leave, but I don't feel like if I leave now it's going to be right. If I leave in the summer, when I'm out of contract, I'll have a lot more options because I can sign wherever, unless instead of suddenly trying to get us now. And the thing, I think a Whitway, Smith, Bannon, Palmer, Patterson, Johnson, this is just off the top of my head, are all out of contract in the summer. And it'll be interesting to see what Danny does in the summer in terms of refreshing the squad, because I don't think it would be much of a rebuild situation. It would more be a refresh. See what players, see what players that he can convince to stay, see what players he doesn't want anymore. And the thing is, he wants to have those conversations very early about contracts and who's getting one and who's not. And January will help him with that, because he'll see who he doesn't want in his squad or who's not in around it. Apologies to like I said earlier, I am feeling the brunt of being ill at the minute. So we will see what happens there. But Danny, it sounds like he's wanting to change things up, not just on the loan side with some of our loan players to put out there, but maybe some senior players to go out as well. So let me know who the senior player will be for you. Who would you be looking at maybe? Or let's change that. If you were to speculate, who do you think the players are that may want to leave and go elsewhere? That's the better one. Who do you think the players are who may want to leave and go elsewhere in January because they're not getting much game time or whatsoever? And it could be a lot of things. Excuse me. Let me know in the comment section below. It'll be an interesting little debate and have a little bit of a back and forth with you all about it, because it is an interesting topic, because you don't think of senior players being on that chopping block. You normally think it's loan players, youngsters going out on loan, then senior players leaving the club in January. That's normally something you see bigger in a summer, and you're having to do a refresh of the squad and stuff. So let me know. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts on that is, and I'll speak to you in the next one.